You need your ass whooped when you mess up as a black youngster. If you don't know the difference between right and wrong. This law they got about if you put a bruise on them, that's child abuse. See, a lot of people don't see the big picture in that. That's so the black and the brown youth will grow up without no physical discipline, so they gonna wind up in them prisons that they building today. It's a plan for your ass. You need.
Shalom, shalom, all praises be unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of great most on that rule well. Shalom to the elect worldwide. As you heard it there, man. You see the agenda of these Edomites, these elites, trying to keep your children untrained, undisciplined, and not face responsibility, accountability. And not face the consequences, because physical correction is necessary, and it doesn't always have to be instantly. It doesn't always have to be immediately, and also obviously there's limits, man. Yeah, we don't promote no excessive, great, unreasonable force, man. Even like in self-defense, or if you do security or something like that, and like you have to defend yourself, and you're allowed to defend yourself according to the law, but you got use they say that you got to use reasonable force. But even not to go off the topic, that's because that's more for self-defense. But I'm just saying that even in the law, they understand that there's certain use for violence, man. Yeah, violence can be used for defense, but guess what? Violence can a low reasonable amount of physical action can be used for discipline, because they even do that in military, man. Yeah, military is obviously far more raw, and I'm not trying to promote that on children. No, I'm not saying that. But even military, like you might talk back to your commander and that, and he might give you a dig in the stomach. I'm not saying to do that, but children, they do need like a physical discipline, man. Yeah. And guess what? If you don't apply physical discipline, a lot of the times what happens, your children become entitled. They become reckless because they have never faced it. You haven't taught them to be prepared to face consequences. You haven't taught them to avoid wrongdoings. Yeah. So I've got to put that out there and disclaimer. Let me make disclaimer again. I'm not advocating for random, unreasonable, excessive violence. I don't stand for that. We don't stand for that, man. The children, because you got, and a lot of these violent acts towards children. A lot of them, you'll be surprised. Women, man. Women dashing their children in freezers, in ovens. Proper verbal abuse and child neglection. A lot of these women commit, man. And don't get us started on them deleting their babies in clinics. Yeah. So again, disclaimer: I speak for myself, but brothers in general, we don't stand for unreasonable, random, excessive physical violence on children, man. That's not right. Headlocks and drop kicks and RKOs and suplex, we don't stand for that, man. maybe just like a tap, a tap, a slight nudge, a raising of the voice, or telling them to go in their room. That's all right, no problem. As long as wisdom imparted. But anyways, let me get the scriptures. This is Proverbs 22 verse 6, and it reads, train up a child in the way he should go. We have to train up. If you have brothers have children, or brothers planning to have children, if it's of the spirit. And I'm not saying if brothers are planning to have children in the sense of to force it in the spirit, or if it comes, it's of the Lord, isn't it? But I'm just saying, for those that are already children are on the way, already have children, you got to train up your child in the way he should go. And what's the way he should go? By following the scriptures, following the Heavenly Father, following Yahweh Shai. Practicing the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of his ability, teaching him about the faith, teaching about who he is. He's an Israelite. Teaching him wisdom of the world, like basic things. Don't hang around with degenerates and bad behaving people and criminals. Follow, stick to a righteous path. Parent stuff. But mainly you got to teach them about the scriptures, man. You got to teach them about Yahushua. That's the main thing, the right doctrine as well. Train up in a child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart from it. And that's why you got to teach them when they're young, man. Because even there's like a scientific study where children at a certain age, around toddler age, around 5, their brains are like sponges, man. They like unlock the ability to learn things very quick, learn languages, understand things, they question things. Children will start to, tap you on your leg and say, hey, what's that? What does that mean? Explain this. That's what kids do, and they're supposed to do that. And guess what? In this spirit, that's what we're supposed to be in this truth as well. Scripture talks about being like as newborn babes, desiring the sincere milk. Scripture talks about being children, because children are usually more humble and willing to learn. But when you become an adult, you get stuck in your ways. The pride increases, and you got to try to get away from that mentality. Still got to kind of have a certain amount of a baby mentality, in the sense of being humble or willing to learn. Because we don't, you ain't no perfect floating super Hebrew Israelite just yet. But yeah, train up a child in the way he should go. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So I was saying, scientists, they discovered certain things with young children where they learn quicker at a certain age. And that's spirit, because it just complements the scriptures. You've got to teach them from young. Proverbs 13 verse 24, this is really the main scripture. He that spareth his rod hateth his son. If you're sparing the rod, you hate the son. I'm going to go into the word rod in a bit, and it says, but he that loveth him chasteth him betimes. Alright, so what does it mean, rod? I think it might be the word Shabbat. Outline of biblical usage: rod, staff, branch, offshoot, club. What's a club for? A club is for, beating, man. Them old school, I think they still do it in some places of the world, like probably Africa. You know, they have whips and clubs. Teachers to beat the children as a punishment when they're misbehaving or being lazy. Scepter tribe, rod, staff, shaft, of spear, dart, club, of shepherd's implement. Truncheon, if I'm pronouncing it right. Scepter, mark of authority, clan, tribe. Strong's definition, from an unused root, probably meaning to branch off. A scion, literally a stick for punishing. A stick for punishing. Stick for punishing. Writing, fighting, ruling, walking, etc. Figuratively a clan. Correction. Yeah. Dart, rod, scepter, staff, tribe. So this rod's is for punishing and correcting, man. Let me go to the word chaste as well. Chaste. Outline of biblical usage. Discipline, chastening, correction, discipline, correction, chastening. Rebuker, as we got one over there. Properly chastenment, figuratively reproof, warning of instructions, also restraint, bond, chastening, check, correction, discipline, doctrine, instruction, rebuke, and rebuke can be physical too. Yeah. Let me read that again. Proverbs 13:24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteth him betimes. Yeah. If you don't chasten your child, you don't give the rod to your child, you don't love your child. The people, the Western world. Yeah, and people with a liberal mindset, they might find that confusing. Wait a minute, why do you associate telling your child in a strong tone, like shouting, or give him a backhand now and then, showing love? Because what that shows, first of all, it shows the passion. It shows the passion that you're concerned about your child, of not falling on the wayside in life, because you want him to do good. Now, obviously, you're not gonna give physical correction or shout at a child that's doing good or doing right. You're not gonna do that. That's common sense. You're most likely gonna reward him, you know. Reward them for doing good, as you're supposed to. But guess what? As I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, they might argue, oh, why would you have to use physical actions to discipline? Because they need to feel the pain of going off. Because guess what? Life itself is going to give you worse pain. Yeah? For instance, if you're not correcting your child, obviously it's like I mentioned before, it's not immediate physical action. You talk first. You talk first. You know, apply wisdom. You talk first. Second, you might raise your tone a bit more. Third, you might raise your tone even a bit more. Fourth, you might punish by sending them in a room. And the fifth time, you might lay the smack down. Yeah. It doesn't have to be an immediate strike of discipline, but it's still necessary. Yeah. But like I was saying, when you physically when you do physical discipline, you know, they remember it hurting, and when they remember the pain and the hurt, you know, of that physical discipline, it steers them away from doing wrong again. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to put your hands in a fire? Most of you with enough brain cells will say, hell no, I don't want to put my hand in fire. And the reason you will give is because it will burn me. Correct. Yeah. So it's the same thing in things in life. You behaving bad, you develop a criminal mindset, you hang around with the wrong crowd, hey, you're gonna end up getting yourself killed, getting yourself into drama, or the police locking you up. And I believe most people will rather get a tap on their hand or tap in their backside rather than falling in the hands of the police, where they can physically rough you up, in themselves. Yeah. See, everyone wants to talk about physical abuse, but nobody wants to talk about when if the police put you in jail, they get away with doing a lot of nasty shit, man. A lot of physical abuse. Prisoners will tell you that. But anyways, I'm pretty sure a tap on the wrist, a tap in the backside when you're young is more preferable than getting locked up or in some drama, in some shit, and getting physically beat up by gang members or psychos and stuff like that, or literally being dead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would prefer a tap on the wrist. That parental physical discipline, man. So that's it, man. Yeah, a parent would do that. A parent would do that if you love the child, because you passionately care about your child. You're concerned of your child's future and not to go in the wrong side. But at the same time, we live in slavery, we're oppressed, and us Israelite men, we don't have a great amount of authority because we're in slavery, man. So apply wisdom, man, and disclaimer, be careful, man, because these children, they got hotlines, to get you locked up, hotlines to get the children removed from you. Yeah, so we really got power like that. We're supposed to have power over our children, to discipline them. Yeah, we ain't got power over our women. We ain't got power over our children. We ain't got power over our family to an extent. Yeah, in most cases. So apply wisdom and disclaimer. Be careful, man, how you operate in society. Apply wisdom, pray unto the Lord. But the point is, according to the scriptures, physical discipline is necessary. But wisdom again and disclaimer, hey, we do not promote random, unreasonable, excessive force on a youngster, man, on children, or anyone. We're not here to be violent or to fight people, man. Yeah. Yeah, but self-defense is necessary. But in terms of disciplining children, yes, physical discipline is necessary. But then you also got to apply wisdom in the world that we're living in. Like I mentioned, you might just, But anyways, with that, I hope you've been edified. Shalom, man. Yabish Mishabrak Fabish Makakadash.